Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, where heart centered entrepreneurs, visionaries, and everyday heroes in your backyard are helping the world break free to live life more purposefully, one story at a time. I am Seema Giri, your host, an award winning author, entrepreneur, and holistic lifestyle strategist. Today's show is sponsored by Uplift Media. For strategies on how to break free to your brilliance and get your free gift, 10 Ways to Live a Dynamic Life, visit seemagiri.com. Our special guest today is Shelly Wilson. She is an intuitive medium, and get ready to embrace the magic within. Today we have a very special guest, Shelly Wilson. Shelly, welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Seema.
So what we're going to do is do a real quick grounding meditation, and then we'll get started with this exciting, wonderful interview. Are you ready, Shelly?
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's close our eyes and take in a deep breath all the way to the belly. Take a few more breaths at your pace and exhale. Now, I believe that we are all here for a reason together. I don't believe in coincidences, and if you're spiritually aligned, I think you would believe the same. So there was many things we had to do before our time together. A lot of hecticness, a lot of phone calls and conversations with people that we may have brought into our time here together. So let's just release all of that. Taking a deep breath and exhale and release all the things we had to do in order to get here today. And there's a lot of meetings and other activities you have planned for afterwards. So for now, we're just going to let that go too and know that it's going to be there waiting for you. Take in a deep breath and exhale and let that go and be totally fully present with us right here, right now. And just check in to see what's being called upon your heart. You're here together because there's something that you would need to hear from Shelly. Maybe from Shelly, maybe from our conversation here collectively. Just tune into that. And also for Shelly and I, let's tune into our heart and see what is the message that our listeners need to hear from us today. Taking a deep breath, exhale, and open your eyes. So, Shelly, what was called upon your heart when we did that quick meditation?
Well, what was coming through immediately is how important it is for each one of us just to be present, to be in this space of now. And as you so beautifully stated, to realize that there may have been things that were happening prior to this moment and will happen after this moment, but we can still just be where we are. And the more that we connect with ourselves, connect with God's spirit universe, whatever term resonates with us individually and personally, that is what we want to do. And the more that we do that, it's going to help us to navigate any challenges that we have surrounding us. There is a lot of chaos happening in our world right now. And the more that we're present and adaptable and flexible, the more that we're going to make it through, shall we say.
Yes, exactly. So, Shelly, you are an amazing author, intuitive medium, and a conscious creator. And you're really passionate about helping people wake up to their greatness. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background?
Yes, well, I've always known things. I've always been sensitive to energies. I live in Oklahoma. I was actually born and lived the first 6 years of my life in Kansas. And my dad's a civil engineer. So in our household, it was very much, through his lens and his thoughts and so on. And we really weren't raised in an environment that was conducive to spirituality or
Mm.
conducive to openness. I was raised in the Baptist faith and I just always knew that there was something more. So it wasn't until 2008 that I actually began delving deeper and discovering my own way of being, shall we say. And that really helped me to connect with this path that I'm on today.
Interesting. I had a similar kind of environment of when we were growing up too. My dad was a scientist, and things were pretty much according to his views and his thoughts. And if you thought anything different, then you were considered weird.
Right.
um, what I'm curious to know, what were some kind of signs or things that may have happened that caused you to explore more into the intuitive side?
Yes, well, I always knew that there had to be something more than this physical body, because I was so amazed with how we're alive, how we're breathing, and how we
Mhm.
think and everything else. And I had many out of body type experiences. Sometimes we may even call those astral travels. And it was just very much that I needed to explore that. And it was in 1999 when I first started exploring more, having some healing sessions and readings. But it wasn't until 2008, as I said, that I really had that aha moment. And I had a reading with a woman who ended up becoming my Reiki master. And the words she spoke to me, I vividly remember them as if I just heard them. And what she said was, Shelly, I just have to tell you, your purpose is to shine your light on others so that others can see the truth of who they really are. You are meant to heal hearts one by one by one. You see people differently than they see themselves, and that's how you make a difference. And I realized I just have to be love. And I
Mhm.
really recognize that a lot of the work that I do, because I'm not a fortune teller, I want to empower people and remind them that all of the answers they seek are within and that we're all amazing and magical and brilliant. And we just have to shine and step into our power.
That is so true, and it. I'm so happy that you realize that early on. It takes a whole lifetime just to learn that.
Yes. And a lot of people think that, they're late bloomers. And I always remind them they're right on time, that every experience you had up until that aha wake up moment, that it was what you needed. And now everything that you are continuing to experience is going to help others because everything is an opportunity to learn and to grow from.
Exactly. So, as I understand, you help navigate people through their own journey into consciousness to experience aliveness. Can you can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes. So, part of this awakening process, and just to clarify for those people that may be curious as to what I'm specifically referring to. So, I believe as humans, we're here, we choose to have a life experience. And some of us are just walking through life on those five senses, and others realize there's something more. That's where we have that awakening or we become more conscious and aware. And so, when we begin tuning in more, what we realize is we're seeing life through that multicolor brilliant spectrum rather than just through black and white, and we're operating on those heightened senses. So what I love doing is helping people to once again tune in more to themselves, tune in more to what's around them, and know that we all have that ability to be awake and aware and intuitive.
Very nice. Recently, you've written "Embracing the Magic Within" book. What inspired you to write that?
Well, I had written a couple of other books, and the last one was in 2013, so it's been a few years. And it was actually December of last year. My guides told me one day, they said it's time to write. And I was like, what am I going to write about this time? And so what they told me was, you're going to remind people once again that magic is the power to create, and that we all have the ability to create. We have to become aware of our thoughts and words and actions, and become aware of what we desire. So this book is actually a compilation of personal stories, words of wisdom, inspirational quotes, and it's packed with positivity. And I chose to, instead of having chapters, I chose to actually just have separator pages with some images, and people can read it front to back, of course, or they can simply say, what do I need to know at this time? And see what the universe wants to share with them.
Oh, that's an interesting concept. It sounds really fun too.
Yeah. So, would you like to see what Spirit wants us to know right now?
Yes, let's do that.
Yes. So I'm reaching. Here's the cover of the book for those that may see this. And so just opening it randomly, and you're going to totally love this. Be present is the page I opened it to.
Mm.
And the message says, learn to enjoy every moment of your life. Be happy now. Don't wait for something outside of yourself to make you happy in the future. Think how really precious is the time you have to spend, whether it's at work or with your family. Every minute should be enjoyed and savored. And this is a quote by Earl Nightingale. So we were talking about being present, Seema, and
Yes.
Spirit said, let's talk about that a bit more. So it is all about just being in this moment rather than stuck on that linear aspect of time.
And I think that is the hardest thing for all of us to do. It's really a it's one of the things you have to, like anything and any exercise, really build your muscle to be present. And we're always a creature who's always looking for things outside. And you said earlier, all the answers are within.
Yes.
And when people used to say that to me, that used to be so frustrating. It's like, I've been searching and I don't find it, it's not there. But you really need to get present in order to really hear the answers. Did it take you, Shelley, a long time to get or allow yourself to be present?
It was definitely a practice, I will say, because I am very type A
Mhm.
personality. I'm very much get things done. And, sometimes it's like, chop, chop, chop kind of thing, always working. And Spirit reminded me, you got to slow down. You got to be in the now. You've got to relax. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. And as we recognize, being present also involves that mindfulness, so it's being where you are in each and every moment with what you're doing, whether it's doing a task, brushing your teeth, eating, going for a walk, anything like that. And also, it is using our form of meditation. And we know that meditation can take many forms, but it's allowing space to receive. So if we're constantly doing, we're not really being.
Allowing space to receive.
Yes.
That sounds like a tweetable line. Allowing
Yes, I would
space to
agree.
receive.
Allowing space to receive. And I am a work in progress. And I know that I will continue to be a work in progress, as we all should be, because I just feel like, once again, every day, every moment, we're presented with opportunities to learn and to grow from. And this year has been quite a doozy on many
Mhm.
levels with the challenges. And I just keep reminding people, once again, be present, be adaptable, be flexible. And the more that we do that, the more that we're able to go with the flow, we can surmount any challenges. And a lot of it has to do with our perception and how we choose to respond.
True. I would like to circle back to allowing space to receive because that has been, I've been following a lot of these things for a really long time, but I still was not getting to the point of satisfaction or being able to even manifest the things that I wanted to once I started on my spiritual path, until I realized that I was not allowing the space to receive, or I was not able to receive. And until I worked on that, things didn't really manifest or get into the flow of the way I wanted things to be. So Shelly, can you share with our listeners how one can know whether they're allowing themselves to receive or not? And then how can they allow themselves to receive?
Yes. So the first thing I want to address is everything is energy. We have to become aware of our thoughts, our words, our actions, become aware of our emotions. And when we realize that everything is a vibration, everything is a frequency, that's what we're working with. What we want to remember as conscious creators, becoming aware of our energy, becoming aware of the energy around us, and becoming aware of what we desire to manifest. Now, we have to become aware then of our intention of the manifestation because sometimes we want something out of lack or out of
Mm,
fear. And that's not good or bad, but it's a different vibration than, say, a love, trust type heart space vibration. And the other thing is that's the energy that we're infusing into our manifestation. So if we are stuck on how long is it going to take, when's it going to happen, that's very restrictive. So to consciously create, we want to become aware of energy, ours and what's around us. We want to become aware of what we're desiring. And we also want to release the linear aspect of time and the manifestation details, the how, when, what, why, where. Now, I will tell you through my own conscious creation practice, many times the universe is going to give us something or present us with something that is even not in our realm of possibility, but we're too stuck on a particular person, place, or thing that we want, and we're restricting the other from flowing to us. So I always tell people manifest with a feeling, go with how you want to feel, and then be amazed because the universe will then show you something that is probably beyond what you were even beginning to imagine. And it is a practice, once again, because we hear about the law of attraction and the secret and all of those techniques. So, part of that energy emission is becoming aware of our self talk. And are we negating some of these positive attributes that we're wanting to manifest too?
those are excellent points to definitely think about. There's like you said, many times we want to manifest a certain something because of what we think that we want. And you pointed out, Shelley, sometimes we get things that we didn't even think of it as a possibility, or not even as a possibility. You may not have even thought about it at all, and it comes.
And what I find too, Seema, is most people get stuck on the element of time. You know,
Mm,
we want to know how long is it going to take? When's it going to happen? And once again, that is restrictive. And the best thing is to put it out there, set the intentions, fuel it, and infuse it with that high vibration love energy, and let go of attachment to the outcome. So when you're doing that is you're trusting. And I will tell you, I am so amazed because some things I forget about. And then 6, 8 months later, it shows up and it was like, oh, okay, well, here it is. And, I didn't give it much thought because I wasn't wondering if how long is it going to take. And I just trust, okay, here it is, divine timing.
right. I totally agree with that too. There's divine timing. Our timing and the divine timing is not always the same. So it takes a little
Typically
bit of
not.
patience. Exactly. It takes a little bit of patience. But what I wanted to point out was if you are receiving something wonderful, something that you haven't even thought of or wasn't even in your possibility realm, embrace that, explore that, because those kind of things have really taken me to the next level. For example, I never thought I would be writing books and helping people compile books, but I'm doing that now. That wasn't
Yes.
even in my bucket list. I didn't even think that was a possibility for me. But when it came, I explored it, I looked at it, and then I tried it. I went forward. Like you said, Shelley, you have to trust. You have to trust things that are coming your way. You have to trust the opportunities coming your way and try them out, and you'll be amazed at what results you get.
Yes, and I recognize sometimes that's when the breakthrough happens because the more that we allow ourselves to feel into these opportunities, as humans, we have the power of choice. And there's some things, of course, that we have no control of. So we have to recognize that. But we always have the power of how we respond, always.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so the synchronistic and serendipitous moments that show up for us, we just have to say thank you, because the more that we are grateful, that puts us in that flow of abundance as well.
Very true. So, Shelley, how can embracing the magic within help us to live a life of passion, presence, and purpose?
Absolutely. The first thing is definitely connecting more to ourselves, connecting more to our heart, to our spirit, to our gut, letting it guide us as we also connect to those energies around us. Because when we realize once again that magic is the power to create and that we have the ability to consciously create, we just have to get very clear. And as I've been saying, Seema, 2020 is a time to gain clarity. Optically speaking, 2020's clear vision. And in numerology, 4 is a year of personal growth and
Mhm.
creating our reality. And we have, on a consciousness level, on a global level, been presented with this amazing opportunity on many levels to do just that. A lot of us have been in fear mode. But if we can shift the fear to one of awareness and one of seeing opportunities and blessings within challenges, it's going to take us higher.
Definitely. And I think this year, many people have really experienced that. And those who have allowed it have really had transformational experience. I think 2020 was for the procrastinators, right? Those who did, who was like, who knew they had to make changes, who knew they had to do something different, but just haven't been doing it. And so
Yes.
2020 came and said, well, here you go.
There you go. What are you going to do now? And I will tell you, 5 year is going to help us to level up even more. So 5 is all about the power of choice. So that's what we get to do moving into 2021. We continue to get to choose. And a lot of it is, where are we focusing our energy? And once again, how are we responding?
Yes. So I think the key things you've said is connect within yourself, connect to the energy around you, right? And that's where the magic is, right?
Yes, and be present.
Be present. We got that lesson today. That's just, it just amazes me how we our attention was to be present, and then we get that message, this is what you need to do. So this is a message for all of us. The nuggets are in being present. So, turn off your phones, turn off the TV when you're in conversation with someone, when you're having dinner with your family. Have the no device rule,
Right.
during the dinner time. Just take the time to connect. And even if it's with yourself, it's just 2 minutes that that you that makes a huge difference. It doesn't have to be just, many times, Shelly, people think, oh my gosh, meditation, I have to sit for hours or 20
five
minutes. I don't
minutes.
have that kind of a
5 minutes.
2 to 5 minutes, start with that. And then you won't even know that with 30 minutes, I do every day a 30-minute meditation, and it feels like it's only been 5, 10 minutes.
Yes. And it's something that your spirit begin seeking too, because it's a way, once again, to allow that inspiration and that guidance to flow to you. So when we consciously do that, and we can do conscious breathing, we can go for a
Mhm.
walk, listen to music or a guided meditation. The main thing with meditation is to pick a way that resonates with your spirit personally, because how someone else may do it may not work the same for you.
Exactly. Find your rhythm, find what works for you. That's the key thing. And that's when you'll be consistent and committed to it.
Absolutely.
Shelly, do you have one tip that our listeners can start doing immediately?
Yes, what's coming to me to share is to focus on practicing that good energetic hygiene. So being grounded and centered. And to do that, you can ground your energy by visioning your legs as tree roots going into the earth, or going barefoot, drinking water, working with some of the great grounding crystals like hematite, smoky quartz, black tourmaline. That will help you to feel more balanced also, especially when we're feeling a bit scattered or frazzled or overwhelmed. And the other thing is to center your energy. So to do that, just visualize lots of white light at your core in that abdominal area. Do some conscious breathing. See that white light shifting to yellow. And as you focus on attaining that peace within, you'll in turn be able to respond what's happening around you. But if you allow the energies around you, whether it's people, places, or things, to pull at your energy, you're going to feel those effects as well.
Wonderful. Shelly, do the white and yellow colors have a meaning to it?
The white light to me is just bringing in source consciousness energy. And then yellow is the color of that solar plexus, which is our power center that is in that abdominal area. So think of that as our battery or our fuel tank.
Great, great. Thank you for that clarification. Now, do you have something special for our listeners?
Absolutely. They can receive an MP3 audio file, a chakra clearing exercise, as well as a PDF with tips to clear energy, that good energetic hygiene I was talking about.
And how can they get that?
They can go do that by visiting my website, shellyrwilson.com, and just type in the podcast on the contact form, and I will happily send that over to you.
Wonderful. That is a great way to get your free gift. Thank you for offering that to our listeners. And is there any parting message that you would like to give?
What's coming through is just a reminder to be you, to shine, and once again, to be present. That this life that you're experiencing can be one of challenge or it can be one of triumph. And many times it's both. And a lot of it has to do with our perception. And as I've said many times here, how we choose to respond.
Yeah. The power of choice and how you choose to respond is the key thing. Well, that is a great takeaway. Thank you so much, Shelly, for being on our podcast and enlightening us even more today.
Thank you so much, Seema.
Thank you for joining us for this interview. I hope you've gained some insights and or tips that you can implement right away. For more interviews like this, please visit us at seemagiri.com or visit our YouTube channel, Break Free to Brilliance with Seema Giri. Until next time, have a great day.